Okay, and I'll do this one. All right, so we've got we've got a capacitance circuit here, in which initially we've got this connected. So this is, and we're given that this is 10 volts. This guy is 10 microfarads, and these are not connected. Okay, and we're given that this is 3 microfarads and this is 2 microfarads. Okay, so initially when just this is connected, and we're asked what is the final charges on these 3 capacitors. So initially when just this is connected, our capacitance is our charge over our voltage. So that means that our charge is our 10 microfarads times our 10 volts, which is 100 microcoulombs. And then after this gets charged, we switch this so they're no longer connected by a voltage. And so then now this charge flows across the 3 capacitors, basically. So we first need to figure out what the net capacitance is here. So our C2, our 1 over our C23 is 1 over C2 plus 1 over C3, sorry. So for capacitors in series, this is how we add them. So this is 1 over 3 microfarads plus 1 over 2 microfarads. So our C23 comes out to be 1.2 microfarads. And so the circuit, the equivalent circuit we have then is this, where this is 1.2 microfarads, this is 10 microfarads. And now our charge on both plates can be found from these expressions, but we don't know what our new potential is necessarily. But what we do know is that the sum of our charge should be 100 microcoulombs. So that means we know that the voltages should be equal. So we know that Q1 over C1 is equal to Q23 over C23. So they will reach equilibrium where the voltages are equal. And so we get this expression, but also our charge should be maintained. And so then we can solve for the charge on Q1 by rearranging this as so. So then we can say that Q1 onto C23 over C1 plus 1 is equal to 100 microcoulombs, or Q1 is equal to 100 microcoulombs over 1.2 over 10 plus 1, which is equal to 89.29 microcoulombs. So I'll say right here that we could have, because of this, the way the factors work out here, this is actually just the ratio of if we work this out right, this is just the ratio of the total capacitance to the individual capacitance. And so there's likely a shortcut here. So now we can solve for our voltage. So now we can either solve for our Q23 directly as 100 minus 89.29, which is 10.71 microcoulombs. And we can also say that our voltage here is 10.71 microcoulombs over 1.2 microfarads, which is 8.93 volts. Now, because the charge on Q1 is this 89.29 microcoulombs, the charge on 2 is the same 10.71 microcoulombs, and the charge on 3 is also 10.71 microcoulombs. And so how that makes sense is that in closing the switch here, we get charge flow or flow of the potential for equilibration, and then it flows from this plate to this plate and back around. So that means that we transfer 10.71 microcoulombs here, pushing 10.71 microcoulombs off of this guy to here. So although it only transfers 10.71 microcoulombs, or there's only a net difference of 10.71, the other 10.71 comes from the adjacent plate. Okay. And if we check the solution here, this person just used the ratios, as I said. So you could just use the capacitance ratios to get that the charge is 89.29 and the charge on 2 is 10.71. And the charge on 3 will also be 10.71. So this is good. And I'm actually going to stop this here now. I'd say thank you all for listening. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to OneClass. If you want to leave questions, please follow the links below the videos. This has been Jeff Krause for OneClass, and I hope to see you again.